Some teachers have united to fight State Superintendent Tom Horne by filing a lawsuit to block the implementation of a law that would restrict ethnic studies courses. The lawsuit was just filed this afternoon and attacks SB 2281 by saying that it violates both the First and the 14th Amendments. Horne wants to get rid of the ethnic studies courses because he feels they teach what he calls ethnic chauvinism. The law bans any class that promotes the overthrow of the U.S. government, classes designed for a specific race, and those that promote ethnic solidarity. TUSD has said the classes do not violate the law.
If it doesn't do all those things, why even bring up this lawsuit?
Because in Tom Horne's eyes, we do. We've already been judged guilty.
Horne already has come out publicly saying when the law goes into effect December 31st, he will find TUSD in violation and seek to cut its funding by 10%. No doubt TUSD's ethnic studies program is politically charged at both ends, and it became more apparent with House Bill 2281. 9 on Your Side's Ileana Diaz has more on what prompted this debate.
The fate of the ethnic studies program came into question after House Bill 2281 passed in early May, immediately triggering protests across the city. John Ward, who once taught ethnic studies, was one of the leading critics against the program.
The intent of my co-instructor was to be a demagogue and get these students riled up, to be angry, and ultimately that anger, I saw, led to a certain sense of resentment towards those in the, quote, dominant culture.
Critics pointed to textbooks used to teach students. Lessons included the teachings of Che Guevara and language like "kill gringos." Critics believe students were mimicking their book, holding protests and wearing berets like the radicals they learned about. Students denied this was a problem.
There's nothing to be offended about. It's saying, yes, there were injustices that happened, and yes, sometimes it was, the European descendants, but I mean, there's a difference between teaching racism and teaching history, and not teaching a history that is there is not okay.
State Superintendent Tom Horne's term ends days after the bill goes into effect. So we questioned Republican candidate John Huppenthal on his stance if he's elected to state superintendent.
Some of the students enrolled in the program say they have a right to be in this ethnic studies program. How do you justify getting rid of it or changing the curriculum?
No school district has the right to provide an incorrect, non-factual American history that poisons one class against another class of people. It's unhealthy, and if that's what's going on, there's going to be a confrontation.
Ileana Diaz, KGUN 9 on your side.
House Bill 2281 goes into effect December 31st. TUSD leaders say they're waiting to hear from their legal department about how the bill is affecting their program.